Thank you so much for joining us today on Real Business Roundtable. Today we're talking about
power of simplicity.
Now, this simplicity is just genuinely a valuable aspect of, it could be anything. Simplicity of food. I love to cook. I like to keep things simple because you got to embrace those flavors of organic food. Simplicity in agreements, in contracts, in working with someone. Simplicity in everything, in lifestyle. Just keep it simple. Keep it less stressful. Don't stress the small stuff. Simplicity.
With entrepreneurship and business, which is where this conversation in this episode applies for the most part, we tend to see entrepreneurs who create too many barriers, and things tend to be overly complicated more than they should be. My mentality and my mindset and approach to business is go. Low barriers of entry, low drag, move your ass.
Just gonna start speaking in parcel tongue. Get it up close. Throat.
So what you do...
Move the what?
In
the
business.
Light?
In business.
I say move away.
There's no need to be complicated. I think there are a group of entrepreneurs, and I'm not trying to make fun of people. How do I say this without coming off like a douche?
It's hard.
Some people are in business and they think complicating the situation or the process or the contract or making things complex makes them come off more like smart.
But people do it unintentionally.
When you make things more complex, you're creating what's called drag in business. And drag, just like a fighter jet that goes up in the sky, when those engineers design those airplanes, those, Air Force super fast jets, there's a thing called drag. Drag does what?
When you're swimming.
It slows you down.
I mean, yeah.
It slows you down in business too. So these entrepreneurs that have these complex contracts that when you read them, I gotta hire my attorney. Now to get this approved, it went through $3,000 worth of billing, and it took 5 days. I've had situations where a contract was presented in a simple way, and it tripped up an attorney where he was like, I can't, he couldn't even understand that it was a simple contract. It doesn't need to be written in the gibberish long paragraph format. Whatever that paragraph says in the gibberish, legalese, you can simplify that into a sentence. You can simplify that motherfucking contract into sentences. Just one, maybe 2 sentences. You should be able to handle your own business affairs. We're talking about small business here, folks.
Yes, I was going to say,
we're not talking about Fortune 500s that have unlimited mountains of cash that they can burn through. Like they can have a chief toenail clipper, a director of staring at the wall and scratching their butt cheeks. Small business, real businesses, scrappy businesses that eat what they kill and don't use the public's money to grow. We're talking about them. Keep it simple so it's streamlined and you're not burning up money. You're not setting money on fire like the Joker in the... What episode? What Batman was that? Cue the clip.
I'm only burning my half. All you care about is money. This town deserves a better class of criminal.
I'll tell you what happens when you hand somebody a complex agreement. They glaze over and they go, I don't know what the fuck I'm signing. So if they sign it, they can sometimes say, I didn't really read that thing because I couldn't understand it. And anybody with a brain is going to see the wackiness that was in there. Plus, I look at it, in my opinion, as slightly deceitful. This is not my jam. No. I want every fucking clause written in simple motherfucking English. I almost sounded like the woman from Equity. Clue, you gotta look up the clip. So there's this movie called Equity where she goes, "How many fucking chocolate chips are in my cookie?"
I like money. I do.
So you got to make sure that people can understand your agreements. And it's not just about agreements. Business models.
I was going to say, yeah. So it's also,
Yeah.
it's business models. Like we can go on about agreements, but business models, just agreements, not agreements like a contract agreement, just like, a partnership. Keep it very simple.
Keep it
doesn't have to be
simple.
1,000 contingencies and agreements and
contingencies. And the people who like the complexity, they like the gotcha games. Where they're just like, oh yeah, hey, you signed this on the 4th and it said, I have the rights to your full wardrobe at the 3rd day of the month. And then you have some guy wearing your clothes. He's coming up, he's knocking on your door. He's like, dude, just let me in your closet. And you're like, what? And he said, the contract said. Obviously, I'm joking, but I'm saying there could be wacky stuff in there. Now,
yeah.
It's not just about contracts. Your business model should be very easy. Remember, drag, just like the jets, the fighter jets, slows you down. Think about the product or service that you're offering. There's a financial commitment to buy it. It could be 50 cents. It could be $50,000. Have perspective and put yourself in their shoes and ask yourself, how would it be easy with the lowest amount of drag to make this transaction happen successfully? Financing? Maybe no down payment. If you make it easy for the customer to buy the thing or the service or whatever, you lower the barrier of entry to allow the customer to make a purchase. Yakub, what do you have to?
I mean, it's the thing is whenever out of personal experience, whenever I see something or am being pitched something or talking about something that's extremely complex, it almost pushes me away. Just putting myself in other people's shoes and complexity is good in certain situations, right? But simplicity it's the winner at the end of the day. If something is simple and it's straightforward, I like it. If it's very complex, it adds certain things that you don't want to be involved. Like you said, it takes more time. It does this. It's just unnecessary in certain situations. But the caveat is that an agreement or contingencies or anything like that, that makes sense in some situations.
Make it
but
simple.
In a simple service, business plan, agreement, all that stuff, simplicity is key. It's key. Simplicity is bliss.
Your business plan should be simple. What, when, where, why, who. Come on. Let's get right to the point. Bang, bang, out. I'm a high speed, low drag type of guy. I don't like to dilly-dally. I don't like to ponder. So I'll give you an example. Back in the day when Google allowed video to show up on search engine results. I know I'm aging myself. It was called Google Universal Search. This was back in 2007. So Google was allowing video thumbnails to show up on a search engine. That's what put us on the map. So when people noticed that this was a thing, we didn't rub our chins like everyone else and go to trade shows and, think about it and talk about it and scratch our butts and ponder and wonder.
That's the big thing today.
So while those folks did all that, we went to market and cleaned fucking house. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I remember all the fuck faces that were just like, what is this? What? How? And we're like, yeah, we're going to market. Bang. We got the attention of some big fucking brands. That's how I met Homeboy.
Yeah.
So we were out there killing it.
Yeah.
People are like, wait a minute, you can get my commercial to show up on Google? And we're like, yes, let's go, let's do it. And that's what put us on the map. You know why? High speed, low drag, bang, we did it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to motivate entrepreneurs out there to do that. Go. Move your ass.
One thing I want to mention with simplicity,
Don't ponder.
especially with business plans, is some of the biggest companies out there that are still growing to this day, there's still businesses popping up, are all about, their entire business model is about simplicity and convenience. If you can create a simple business model that's around conveniencing something, for example, DoorDash, Uber,
Yeah.
all those different companies,
People like easy.
fucking Tinder.
People like easy, they like convenience.
Convenience is huge, and people will pay for it. There are, like I said before, there are companies that are huge companies. Some of the biggest in the world are built off of convenience and simplicity. A simple app that helps you click a couple buttons and you have a ride to your next destination. An app where you click a couple buttons and you have food that you want from your favorite restaurant on your table.
Perfect example.
Convenience, it's huge. And so that it's simplicity in so many different ways is also a way you can build whole new streams of revenue, and people will pay for it. It's proven and it's out there.
So here's another thing, that in business, every single interaction with either a vendor, employees, policies, stuff like that, you should always have the perspective of the person on the receiving end and make sure that it's easy to understand, it's easy to do, it's easy to execute. Because if everything within your business is complex, if it's you've all heard the term act of Congress. Every move in your business should not be an act of Congress. Stop it. You're not a Fortune 500. And this goes out to the companies that are like 5, 10 million, whatever. You're a small business, dude. Believe it or not, you're not Apple. Slow the fuck down. Everything doesn't have to be a 3-piece suit. You know, hear ye, we have this motion. Just slow down. You're a small business. Even if you do $10 million, you're a small business, dude. Ma'am. Leave that posturing and other stuff for the Fortune 500s that have endless amounts of cash. If you're a $10, $20 million business, yeah, you're making some coin. God bless. But you don't need to behave in a way that's going to burn up cash like the Joker once again. So just take it easy. Try to do things as simple as possible. Now, complexity can bring confusion. Confusion can bring problems in your business. Those problems can cost you money in the long run. So why avoiding simplicity in your business? How is that benefiting you?
It's a very good point. What was that drag? Complexity is drag. That's what I'm going to call this episode.
Drag is terrible in business. Drag is terrible for that airplane. Remember that.
Oh, I know what we're talking about, just chatting.
I love analogies. You all know that by now. Now we have airplanes. Airplane analogies, drag. That is, you don't want that. If you studied rocket engineering and propulsion.
What's your background?
My background?
Your CV?
I've been with the firm for 2.5 years working with Eric that whole time, but I hold a doctorate in engineering, specialty in propulsion from MIT with a bachelor's from Penn.
What is a specialty in propulsion exactly?
My thesis was a study in the ways that friction ratios affect steering outcomes in aeronautical use under reduced gravity loads.
So you're a rocket scientist?
I was, yeah.
Interesting.
So just remember, if you're an entrepreneur, always have the perspective. Keep things simple. So you'll end up having a better situation and a better outcome across the board.
Simplicity is key. Thank you so much for joining us today on Real Business Roundtable. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please like, subscribe, turn on post notifications to get notified every single time we post a new episode. Like, subscribe, check us out on Instagram for clips, updates, more. We'll see you next time, Wednesday for Just Chatting. Peace out.